What's up, guys? It's Brian from Hasher Hub. It's about 11:10 a.m. Eastern Time, February 11, 2018. That is Eastern Time, 11:09 a.m. Eastern Time. No longer Turks and Caicos, as per my last video last night on Bitcoin too. But first, before we get into it, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, upvote, resteam if you guys are on DTube and/or Steam it. Links are down below if you're not. And let's get right back into it. It is good to be back. Vacation is great, but it's also good to be home too. So, yeah, lots of points of indecision right now. Been looking at this in all sorts of different ways. Let's zoom in. This is a 4-hour chart. And we're at a point of indecision with regards to the top of the triangle, and we draw the top of the triangle with these two different lines. This greenish line and also this this bluish line, and you see the markets dancing around these lines, and that's a good thing. You know, that's another thing that tires out the bears, the sellers, the weak holders, whatever you like to call them. And you know, we like to see that. And one of the things I drew here, and you have to zoom in a little bit more here, is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I'm looking at a few different scenarios at the same time, all of them pretty equivalently likely. I think yesterday I had said, I made a video thinking that this was a bearish flag, and it appears as if it is. And the market has, you know, sold off a bit from there, and then nicely it's rallied back, and that's what I'd like to see. I don't want it. I don't, you know, if you're a bull, you don't want to see it kind of all the way come all the way down here. You know, I do feel that the healthiest correction, as I've always mentioned for time and time, is for the market to really just have a long, protracted sell-off, but not something that has like, you know, something like this. I don't like this. The market is the bottom is never an event like this. It's a process. Okay, and you know, I've had some comments back there saying, "Oh, when the market came down to these levels here, I was not all too happy," and that's correct. I wasn't all that happy, and it wasn't due to price. It was because of how it happened. It's not, market's not always about. Trading is not always just about price. It's about how things happen, and I think I've mentioned that several times before in the back at time, is that when things like this happen, well, it means that there's a good chance that we're going to go ahead and retest this type of low again. So lows are not made as single points normally. They're normally not. There's usually some sort of retest, significant retest back down to this level. Doesn't need to come back down to this level, but a significant retracement from the bottom. So is this that retracement? I don't think so. I do think that possibly we could have a fifth leg here. That's the way I'm kind of counting it right now, is that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and now a fifth. Now, one thing I do want to mention, though, is that this 4 level here is coming quite close to the bottom of 1. And when that goes ahead and if it pierces through, then this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is over. It's as simple as that. And now we're on to something else. And the market very well may do that. We'll probably need significant buyings, you know, volume with respect to, I mean, as far as a ratio is concerned, with respect to sellers. The volume could, the nominal volume could still be low, but clearly we need, you know, more buyers than sellers. So the relative buying volume versus selling volume obviously has to be higher. And the only way that happens is by getting rid of the sellers, and that's why I've been saying for so long, we got to get rid of the sellers, the weak holders. So this very well may happen as we're talking here, because I have the feeling here, just the way this looks, is this thing wants to at least wick up, if not close higher. But this is a 1 hour, and we have 46 minutes, and I don't intend this video to be 46 minutes left of this candle. So Possibly we may have this fifth leg here. If I zoom in a little bit closer, what I thought was pretty interesting was so we have five waves down and 3 waves up, and this is clearly like an ABC up. Here we have what I would say not an ABC. This is 5 waves up. So this would also lead me to believe that there's a good chance that this possibly has ended right here, or possibly right here, or right here. Now, if it ends like right here, then this is no longer 5 waves down, and we have to recount this in a different fashion. And this is part of the power of Elliott wave theory and analysis, is looking at things like this. So if this is 5 waves up, then there's a good chance that we may need to recount all of this right here. But I want to show you how we go about things. So another thing I want to show you is this right here. Okay. So the market has, from the top here, it has sold off basically to this 38.2% retracement. This 38.2% retracement also happens to be like a support line from here and here and here, and also resistance from here and here. So this is a significant line, and this line's about 7,868 on the Bitstamp chart here. So if this market were to sell off again, where could it possibly go? It's possibly the 50% retracement, which would be about 7,494. That's approximately where we eyeball the 5th wave to come in. So that kind of all lines up pretty nicely. So let's delete this. So on a short-term basis, I'm starting to become more bullish than I was last night. Why? Because this is 5 waves up, and for 5 waves up, that's called like a motive wave. Not like a motive wave. It is called a motive wave in Elliott wave theory. Some people call it impulse waves. It's the same thing, and that shows bullish sentiment. And so based on that, I'm starting to be a little bit more on a short-term basis, a little bit more bullish. On a longer-term basis, like a daily basis, I don't see anything that is truly bullish. What would make me think that things are bullish, more bullish, is that we have more retests of these lows down here, or even something that's a bit more protracted, down here, and then we have a true bullish wick up, where then the market were to, decisively just start running through everything. We don't see that just yet. The QQE indicator, again, this is on 15 minutes, is pretty bullish. Let's look at it on a 1-hour basis. It just turned bullish a few bars away. On a 4-hour basis, it is negative. Okay, it's negative. Okay, it's crossed below on a 4-hour basis. Let's look on a daily basis real quick. Daily basis, it's crossed above. Alrighty. So that's not to say that it couldn't cross back down below like it's done right here, and that very well may be the case. So I think we're going to leave it right there for right now. Let me take a look to see if there's anything else that I had missed. Maybe I'll just reiterate some of these resistance lines. We have a resistance line basically that we're sitting at right now. We have a resistance line pretty much, that we're sitting at right now. Let's call this 8,500. We also have another resistance line, which is right here, where the markets had stopped prior at about 9,000. Sorry for the noises in the background. And that's pretty much what we see right now. There's a few other chart patterns. I think they're a little bit less likely right now. There's a few other Elliott wave counts. They're all pretty much equivalently likely, those counts right now. A lot of them are kind of pointing down. The other 50% of them are actually pointing up. So it's kind of a mixed bag right now. Regardless, what we need to watch right now is exactly this. This right here is what we need to watch. And so what I'm going to be doing is really zooming things into like a 15-minute basis, possibly even, a little bit even closer, like a 5-minute basis. Seeing really what's going on a minute-by-minute basis, and I'm sure my wife will not be happy about it, as I'll be, glued to my app on my phone, my TradingView app on my phone. If you guys don't have a TradingView app on your phone, you gotta get it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty much the same damn thing here. Yeah, it basically loads up everything that you have on your charts right here, so you can see everything on the run. It's pretty cool. So on a 5-minute basis, we need to see what's going on. And I don't think I've mentioned this before, but this is kind of the underlying foundation of how we trade. We look at things on short-term basis, and then a little bit of a longer-term basis, and a little bit longer, and a little longer, building up to a very long-term basis like a daily or even a weekly. And you need the shorter-term basis charts to turn negative before you have the longer-term basis charts. I know it's a really obvious thing to say, but sometimes, especially people that are newer into the markets, it just, until they hear it, they don't know it. So as I'm just going on caution here, that possibly somebody that's listening to us hasn't heard it before. So you want to see like a 5-minute chart turning a particular direction before you see a 15-minute, before you see a 30-minute, before you see a 45, an hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, all the way up, all the way up to a day, depending on which charts you're looking at. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention, is this head and shoulders pattern, which I really don't see. It's not a nice one, if it is there. The neckline, probably something like this. Left shoulder, head, somewhere over here is the right shoulder. I would really want to see, I would love to see this to have a lot of volume. Give us some good volume here, where there's, we have nice volume here, and you want to see the same thing. Each shoulder. The best way is really the right shoulders. You want to see a lot of volume, even more so than the head. That's when you know it's like super strong, and then it's very probable that that pattern is actually going to play itself out. I don't see that just yet. There's other types of chart patterns that we could draw in here, but I really don't like them just yet. Maybe in a few hours and a few candles that may start changing, and then I'll obviously mention that at that time. Possibly if we get another bounce down here, and then we get a lot of volume coming here, we kind of have another but we have the actual right shoulder right here. It'd be pretty messy as far as head and shoulders concerned, but I take it and then possibly just, draw my lines from there. So I think we're going to leave it there for right now. That's basically what we're seeing as far as the top 10% of what's most highly probable. And we'll take it from there. I hope you guys have a good day and happy trading.